Hello, people. Well, Mopar weekend is done. Mopar Blast weekend. So we have the results from that. Didn't do worth a damn, but had one bright thing from it. But I had this whole great idea of a cool video to put out for today about the whole weekend. But I had issues. For one, the air and temperature was worse this year in May than it was last year in July. It was pretty miserable. The temperature wasn't super hot, but the humidity was up. It was just absolutely miserable. So my GoPro locked up 2 times and then I guess it got overheated and just quit working altogether. So I only have one in-car GoPro from the second time run of the first day. But I do have, video from someone else took of the car running. So I do have all the videos of the car running, just only one in car. And my phone was screwing up too. It was just hot. It was the heat. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to put the video out that I wanted to. But we'll do what we can. So remember originally, like my last video I put out of this, the update was, I've got this borrowed converter in it until I get my new one back, that I had to take back out to get reflashed because it was way off. So I borrowed this converter again, that J converter, which only flashes 4500, so it's not right for the car. And I thought the car was going to run 1160s, in the quarter, 720 something, 725 to 30 in the eighth. Well, it did run quicker than that, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So that surprised me a lot. But anyway, so I guess what we'll do here is I'll show you like my second time run since I got a GoPro for that one, and then the one win I had in the box no box race later in the evening, and then my loss from the next day. So wasn't a good weekend. I didn't do very well, but the car ran a lot better than I thought it was going to for having the wrong converter in it and being miserable air. It just, there's a lot of places in the country people that race are like, well, that air's good compared to what we have, and I understand that. But for this time of year here, this air was really bad yesterday, this weekend. Like I said, I went back and looked from last year in July when we ran, and it was actually better air then than what this weekend was. So anyway, I guess we'll just get into it here, and like I said, we'll go through about 3 runs, and then through this week I'll put up shorts of some of the runs from the rest of the runs from the weekend. But all right, I'm supposed to get my converter, should get it tomorrow. They just called me a while ago and said they're shipping it, and it's usually the next day I've got it. So be putting that in this week, and then I won't be able to go this weekend. We're going on vacation. So it'll be the first weekend in June then before I get to, see if if it's right now. So anyway, all right. I guess let's go to tape, or whatever they say. All right. So this is first day, the 18th. How they have this set up is I signed up for pro class. I thought I was going to end up being able to run sportsman because I thought the car was going to run slow enough, because you got to run 1160 or slower to run sportsman class, which I could have competed better in. But anyway, I had to run pro class because this first time run, it ran 1133 at almost 119. Couldn't believe it. Blew my mind. I thought I was going to run 1160 to 1170. But anyway, so how they do it is you get 2 time runs, and then the eliminations for your class are the next day, Sunday. But the end of this, or the rest of this day, they have the just a box, no box, 8th mile race is how they do it on Saturday. And then the Sunday, then you get one more time run on Sunday morning, and then they start eliminations. But anyway, so we'll go here first. I think I'll show the GoPro footage, or the in-car from this run here. This was the second run, but as you see, the temperature wasn't that bad. Humidity was way up. DA was here. It wasn't really too bad here yet. But then by my second run, the temperature had went up. Humidity had went down some, but it was still up there. But DA was going up. So it slowed down a couple hundredths on that run. Still ran good though. I was still thrilled with that. But let's go ahead and I'll show you this run in car for my time trial number 2 here. Okay. All right. So then, once the second time run was done, you're done for the day for that class, because your eliminations are the next day for that class. That's quarter mile. So then they have the box no box race. So the winner of each of these, the no box like what I run, and then the box cars like Super Pro and that. Whoever wins this no box race, you win the money, and then you get it. Then they also run you against this guy that won the box class, and you have a chance to like win double on that. But anyway, I didn't have to worry about that. So my first run, it had ran 7:22 this run before on my time trial for that. So I dialed 7:22. Reaction times are crap on all these. But so, and this here had went up, it was pretty close, a little warmer. The DA was going up, but it ran right on. So I was pretty happy with that. I won that one. But then that was the first round, eliminations, and there's no buybacks. So second round, I dialed 7:22 again, but the temperature had went up and the DA had went up another 150 feet, and the car slowed down. So I lost. Now the other thing was, between these two runs, the car didn't get a chance to cool down all the way, and trying to keep it cool in staging lanes, the water temp was about 190 before I even did my burnout, and I knew it was going to run slower. I wish I could have changed my dial in at that time, because I knew it was going to run slower. Once this water temp is over 180, it starts getting over 185, it starts slowing down. It's just the way it is. But I couldn't, so it ran 7:25, and I, ran 3 off. I lost. Terrible reaction time again. But anyway, so that was the end of my first day, that day. Now we'll go to day 2. All right, first time run, you only get one the second day for eliminations. But terrible, absolute terrible reaction time, just horrible. But the temperature and DA and all that was about the same as the second time run from the day before, and it ran the same, like 11:35. So 7:22 and 8th, 11:35. So it ran, the same as what it did in that previous time trial run number 2 because it's about the same air. All right, so go to this one. Between these two runs, the temperature went way up, and actually it was closer. On my truck, it was showing it was 91 degrees, but the race thing said 86. And it was almost to 3,000 feet then. So I thought the car was going to slow down. I didn't think it would run that 1135 again because of the heat and air. So I dialed a 36, and then when I was in the staging rings, I thought, man, I should have put a 38 on it because I bet it's going to slow down a couple on this, or 37 or something, 38. Well, ended up I had that's still not very good, but a halfway decent light, and it ran a 32. Now we both broke out on this. The other guy broke out too. I just broke out a little worse. I didn't let out of it. I mean, I didn't believe it would run that fast at all, but around almost 119 again, 1132, 719, eighth mile. But so that kind of confused me because the night before when the air got worse, kept getting worse, it slowed down. The only thing was on this one, my engine, the water temp wasn't. It was only about 175, 180 when I went up to burnout. So that's the one difference with this, other than yesterday or the day before, was the water temp. But so. All right, so ended up, it was still fun to race and all that, but and I'm not going into all the details of all the issues we went through this weekend with not only I'm not even going into it. Just actually this last 3 weeks to month has kind of been a nightmare, and I'm ready to start June and get May over with. But anyway, so didn't do worth a darn. But like I said, I was happy with what the car ran. I really couldn't believe it ran what it did. I was really surprised. So, I mean, if I had the right converter in it, it may run another tenth and a half or two faster. I don't know that. I'd really love to run this car in a quarter mile when there's like good air, below, around at least below 500 foot DA and, 50, 60 degrees or something. Because last year when it was below sea level in November, 200 feet and about 55 degrees in the 8th, I ran 690s with this, 694, 697. And that would be pretty dang close to a 10-second quarter mile pass. So, but I hardly ever go up there. I only go up there once a year to Gateway, the quarter mile track for this Mopar Blast event. So, and like it's always been in July. That's why this year in May, since they moved it to May, I was like, great, man, it's going to be at least a little better air and cooler. And well, no, it wasn't. It ended up being the hottest weekend in May, and the air was worse than last year in July. The temperature wasn't really any worse. The temperatures were about the same, but the air was just, I know it was only 75, 80, 85 degrees. It did get up to 90 or 91 that second day there, but it just felt like it was 110 degrees. It was just miserable. Anyway, enough complaining. So, hope everybody enjoyed it. Like I said, I was wanting to do a really awesome video this whole weekend, putting stuff together, showing other cars, all the other cars running, but wasn't to be, I guess. So, all right. Well, I guess look forward to a few shorts I'll be putting out over this next week with the runs from this weekend. All right. Well, we'll see you. Bye.